Hi, my name is Chris,
And I'm Gary,
and welcome to Nerd Banter.
the show which is all things nerd.
So, what are we talking about today?
Today we're going to talk about building a PC for the first time, or building a high-end PC, should I say?
Um, I, my experience this year was for the first time in about 10 years. I built from scratch my own PC, which took in around over 6 months. I learned a lot. I did study computing in college, but again, from 10 years ago until now, a lot has changed.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and for anyone who's out there, by no means am I a PC expert. A lot of the information that will be discussed today is strictly for kind of layman's and from my perspective and what I learned. So I wouldn't. So if I make any mistakes or kind of have any faux pas, I apologize in advance. But we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Like, you know, are you interested in building your own PC at the moment? Are you?
I am at the moment. I have a PC that is very kind of bog standard. It's just one that I bought because it was cheap, but there is room there to improve it upon. So this is kind of a learning process for myself as well. So we'll just start off. Like, what was the reason behind you building this PC in the first place?
There was a couple of reasons. First one was it wasn't primarily going to be for a gaming rig. That wasn't my kind of first kind of reason to kind of look into it. I had a PC, like a HP laptop, which I was using for photo editing and very, very basic 720p kind of video editing. But it lacked memory, it lacked storage, it didn't have a good processor. And I felt I was always kind of handicapped a little bit when I was using it,
Right.
especially in video editing. Like I couldn't run Premiere Pro or I'd like any video editing software really properly. So it really kind of pissed me off for many years. And then photo editing as well. I do a bit of photography on my time off, and then also there's for a smaller reason there was a gaming aspect. I didn't know that I would be getting, say, the VR headset or anything. That wasn't, that just happened by chance. But there was games like, old PC games like Age of Empires, Half-Life 1 and 2.
Stuff that you can't get on console. That
You'd have to buy an old PC or an old Xbox to play it. And again, if I got a PC and I had a Steam account, I could and Steam sales, my God, that they're so inexpensive to play games on a PC.
Regardless of how much you actually end up spending on it, you will invariably over a couple of years make some of that back with the likes of Humble Bundles and things like that. You will get, I think at the moment there's a Humble Bundle I think it's 12 games or something like that, and you literally just pay what you want for those games.
Some of them are absolutely brilliant. Like the Steam sale this summer, I bought a couple of games, and it's quite addictive. Like in the last 5 months, I think I've bought 20 games on the PC, and that's probably the highest number of games I bought in that short space of time. When you have kind of controversial websites like cdkeys.com, which buy keys in bulk and then sell them off to obviously the buyer, the customer. Some of that money doesn't go back, or most of that money doesn't go back to the developer because it's through a third party, or how they get the keys. It's all legal, and they can't. Once you have your key, that's it. But I remember picking up Doom for 20 quid or something like that. I was thinking it could have been even less than that.
The new Doom?
The new Doom, okay. Yeah. And it was, so you go onto Steam and it's $49.99. I think it got either anywhere between, say, €15 to €20 for, and it's by far one of the best games I've played all year.
I have to say, it's a benefit. Steam doing things like that is actually starting to kind of overlap into the console market as well, because most people are buying their games digitally now. Sony and Xbox are realizing this, and they are having, I don't know about Xbox, but I assume it's the same. Sony has weekly sales.
Mm.
Like at the moment, there's 60% off Ubisoft games.
Really?
So you can pick up, I think, all 3 Assassin's Creed games for €30 or something like that. And
Wow. Okay.
like those games to buy individually would probably still be around, like even in the likes of CEX or GameStop or something like that, they would still be probably in around the 15 to €20 mark to buy the actual physical copy of them. So it is great to see that they're slowly starting to catch on, that games don't have to be just €60, and that's
With the Xbox you have, I know we're deviating from the subject, but
a little bit.
but the Xbox you have a monthly subscription service. It's kind of like Netflix for games. You have monthly deals, so your Xbox Live Gold deals every month. So it's kind of like your PlayStation Plus. So there is deals, especially for the digital market, for that. Like, so yeah, like, and then just kind of. Management for emails, and again just general use for a PC as well, like it's emails, that kind of stuff, like Excel sheets, budgeting, all that kind of crack. Having a central unit that is not so cramped, using a little tiny netbook, which just didn't work for me. So yeah, that's kind of the reasons why I kind of was motivated to kind of start looking into things and start to kind of plan out how am I going to do this. I have no idea where to even start. And kind of just snowballed into a little journey, like, which was really fun.
So we'll get back on topic. So what went into the PC that you built, and how much did it actually end up costing you?
Okay, so I went with a Core i7 processor. It has 4 cores. It's a 6700K. The K means that you can overclock it a little bit and make it run faster.
Right.
It's the i7 would be the higher end of Intel for their processors. So the reason why I bought the i7 was it's fantastic at multitasking. So if I wanted to game and stream and record the video footage as well, so if you do 3 processes, like really, really heavy CPU processes all at once, the Core i7 6700K was more than beefy enough to do it.
Okay.
I got 16 gigs of RAM, which is kind of standard. For me, I wouldn't need anything more than that. Like game-wise, 8 gigs is kind of enough, but 16 gigs, again, for running, for editing in 4K or 1080p and that kind of thing, your heavy RAM kind of programs, that was perfect for. I used a very basic white case, as you've seen. It was like the NZXT S340. It's a bog standard case, has a glass window. I just like the look of it, that kind of glossy white.
Yeah, no, it is a nice case, I have to say.
It's so unobtrusive.
Yeah, but it's nice to be able to actually look in and see what you've actually done inside the PC.
I have a solid state drive, which is more. So your ordinary hard drive it's like a hard disk, and it spins around, and it, like a little kind of reader goes up and down the disk to read it. It's kind of like a CD-ROM. Okay, solid state drive is kind of like your memory card disk, but on a massive scale. And it plugs into the SATA port. So I put the operating system Windows 10 into it, and it boots it up really, really quick. And then a couple of programs like Adobe Premiere and Photoshop are on the SSD drive. And again, it's like 15 seconds, or I think 12 to 15 seconds boot up time for the PC, which I remember like 10 years ago, which was like maybe 2 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, you go off and make a cup of tea while your
PC
was
it just warms up, like,
Yeah.
And then I have a GTX, a NVIDIA graphics card called the GTX 1070. It would be a higher end card because it can run everything on the highest settings at 1440p. So it's not 4K. It's a nice kind of balance between the two.
Right.
I'm not going to be editing any videos for the time being because I don't have money for a 4K camera at the moment. So there's no real point in upgrading to a 4K monitor when.
So I was just going to ask you if.
Yeah. It's there's even a couple of websites from gaming websites who are like and YouTube channels that say you really just need a 1440p because your your eyesight at that distance from the screen can't tell the difference between a 4K monitor and a 1440p. Again, I don't know that from experience. I'm just quoting what I heard off the internet from some random dude
Right.
on a video. But the monitor I have is a standard. It's not OLED, or I think it's a standard just screen. There's nothing really spectacular about the brightness or anything. It's a 60 hertz monitor, so that's 60 frames per second. So there's new monitors and gaming monitors for 1440p, which have, when you're running games, the big thing, especially with the Xbox One, was, oh, does it run 60 frames per second? Well, this PC monitor has been even stepping above that, and anywhere up to 140 frames a second to 124 frames a second can run up to. And in that, there's, like, especially in CSGO, there's supposed to be a massive difference in kind of response time and how kind of responsive when you're actually in the fight on a multiplayer game. So your mouse to kind of input to you seeing the difference. Delay essentially is like, but yeah, the screen suits me absolutely fine. It's perfect. Like, I think it's like a South Korean make as well. I bought it for like 300 quid. Like,
So you don't need to be looking for the kind of the high end names as such for to get decent quality.
No, like, and again, that's the great thing about going on to doing your research. And like, Amazon reviews are fantastic. There's Tech Radar, there's PC Advisor. There's humongous amount of resources out there going. Like, I had to make this PC on my budget.
Yeah.
And I looked at it, like, some of the higher end gaming monitors, which were about 600 to 700 quid. And I'm just thinking, that's like half the price of my PC just for a monitor. So I had to make a balance between, want and need. I want really, really good quality, but I need not that high of a quality or just a standard kind of monitor that's going to balance it out or suit my needs.
Well, you need to spend the money on the PC.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It'd be more beneficial to you, especially running the programs that you do, to spend that money where it actually...
You'll see the results in.
Where you see the results more.
Again, one of the things on top of that is I don't notice any quality difference because I don't know any better.
Right, okay.
But I'm sure if I do kind of see a high-end gaming 4K monitor, OLED, HDR, which 120 hertz monitor, I'm just going to go, fuck that. I just, I was like, yeah, I want it. Like, so the keyboard and mouse are just standard keyboard and mouse. I haven't spent really any money on them at the moment. It's a standard one from Lidl, to be honest with you. They're 14 quid each. That was actually the first component I bought to kind of start me on the journey. And they are like standard. There's nothing spectacular around it. They have a bit of red LEDs on them. I will eventually probably upgrade to like a Razer or a Corsair keyboard. They have like individual LEDs under each individual key, and then you can actually program it to your kind of, like, you can have it all white. You can have a ripple effect, so light will ripple out from every time you press keys and stuff. It is ridiculous. But again, when I bought a keyboard which does the job for like 20 quid, that keyboard is like 200 euros. So again, I have to kind of, we're both adults. We have to be kind of sensible as well. Like, you know what I mean? And
unfortunately,
balance out want and need. You know what I mean? Yeah. Will this do? Yes, it will.
Well, as you said yourself, it is something that you can look into in the future. It's something like, that's the thing about the PC building kind of thing, is that you can do it gradually. It doesn't have to be all at once. So price, how much did everything cost you?
Oh, okay. So
even ballpark,
including everything, absolutely everything. I calculated it up a couple of months back. I think it was about 1,800 euros. Now, if you wanted to get, but if you like, okay, so that was over 6 months, give or take. I started in September and I didn't finish until, I think it was May or April. I was talking to you, like, and So yeah, 5 months. So the most expensive component was the Core i7 processor, which was €300, and then the graphics card, which would be a higher end graphics card for about £400.
Right.
Okay, so that was €700, and then the monitor was €300. So you can say that's what 300. That's €1,000, and that's not including the case or anything. That's €1,000 for graphics card, processor, and monitor. Okay, so if you took away all of that and you reduced your kind of get a 1080p bare basic monitor, get a budget friendly graphics card, and get a gaming friendly, depending on what use you needed on it, you could spend €400 instead of €1,000 very, very easily.
Yeah.
But because of the purposes of what I was building it,
Yeah.
I didn't want to be handicapped by the processor or the graphics card. I worked my ass off and did any kind of spare job I could get my hands on, just and beans and toast for like 5 months. I swear to God, and it's if you're motivated enough, I was, so I got it. Like I was lucky enough. So yeah, it's €1,800, but if you spread it out, and again, that will not be the price. That's individual, like you said. It's different for everybody for what you want.
It depends
on
what you're going to be using the rig for, essentially.
Completely.
So if you're literally just going to be gaming on it, there are going to be discounts that you're going to be able to kind of use instead of
absolutely.
the higher end stuff.
Well, I bought the processor on eBay for secondhand.
Okay.
I saved about €100 off it. Now, because it was a Core i7, it's not overclocked, but I wanted to get a good cooler for it. And you can get good kind of fan aluminium coolers, heatsink coolers, which will cost anywhere between, say, €40 up to, €100, €140. But they're noisy. I wanted to get a water cooled. So I bought the NCXT Kraken X52, I think it's called. So it works the same principle as a car radio or a car radiator. Water goes through the block over the chip on the CPU, and it circulates it, so it takes away heat and it goes back into the pump into the radiator, and then fans blow through the radiator to kind of blow air, which takes the heat away from the water, and then it's looped back in.
Yeah.
It's called an AIO water cooler. There are cheaper ones. I think I spent about €170 on mine. It's a bit ridiculous. And there's a certain aesthetics appeal. I remember, if you remember, it has NZXT writing on it, and then it has the red kind of, remember HAL from Space Odyssey on it.
Yeah.
And I just nerded out, and I was like, I just want to pimp it up a little bit as well. It was a completely shallow kind of like over expenditure. Like you can get away with a cheaper fan cooler, but I liked it. I liked the idea of having it water cooled, and those little tubes kind of going into it and stuff. It just looks fucking cool, to be honest with you. And it is a fantastic water cooler. It is a hell of a lot more like the temperature. It comes with its free software, and the temperature control that you have on it, it is brilliant. Like it is fantastic. So you can monitor all your temperatures.
Yeah.
You can set how fast your fans go. So if you're running a type of program, or if it gets to a certain temperature, the fan ramps up. So there's so much customizability on it.
Yeah.
It's really, really good.
Well, that's kind of getting into the next question. Like, what would be, in your experience, the advantages for PC gaming versus console gaming? Would it be the fact that you can...
You're just going to start a rage war.
Yeah. We'll get I'm sure we'll have plenty of comments on this.
Right.
Is it the kind of adaptability of the PC?
Yeah. There's many pros and cons between the two. The Xbox 360 took me away from PC gaming because it was one of the high. It wasn't. I think it was 720p HD, or it was even composite beforehand, so it wasn't even full HD ever. When the 360 came out, it was like, if not just as good as PC graphics were at the time. But that gap over the years started to grow, and now PC gaming, especially with higher end processors and graphics cards, you get 4K gaming, and I know what you're thinking, especially with the new Xbox One or Xbox
One
X, and then the PlayStation 4 Pro.
Yeah.
I'll get into that in a second. You get 4K gaming, you get your 120 hertz, you get your quality. See, you get there's a massive, you get to play a huge amount of games that you don't get to play on the PlayStation. See, I game with both.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't, I see that like you have the portability and the price point for Xbox, and it is 400 quid or even cheaper now. You can get an Xbox and get a couple of games for less than 400 quid. 500 euros is going to be the new Xbox. It's probably 500 euros for the Pro, is it?
The Pro is 5 or 550, yeah.
Yeah. And the Xbox One X and the Pro are 4K. So again, that gap between the two is the Microsoft or Sony, from the looks of it, are always kind of keeping it as small as possible.
Yeah.
Is there any benefits of it? Listen, if you can afford to game on both, and that is easier said than done. Listen, I had an Xbox One or a 360 for years. I was strictly console for 10 to 12 years. Like from lack of internet, living out in rural Ireland, because again, the likes of Steam and that, and with the like our only GameStop closed down what 6-7 years ago when everywhere shut down, and our local, it was wasn't GameStop, it was just Game closed down. Different things just, and again, the constant cost of just kind of upgrading and everything. It was just like, it wasn't a priority to me. And I could get my gaming fix from the 360 and then obviously onto the Xbox One. Like, if you can get the both, because you have fantastic games on the PC and on whatever console that you have.
Well, you're automatically kind of opening yourself up to how long, like a 15 to 20 year library of games that are still worth playing. Like, I would love to be able to play. I'm a huge fan of the Elder Scrolls, but even the PC I have at the moment, I'm fairly sure it couldn't even run Morrowind. And I would love to be able to play Morrowind. I probably wouldn't enjoy it as much as I did maybe Oblivion or Skyrim, but I'd love to be able to just kind of go on to Steam or GOG, and I'm sure I could pick it up for near nothing. But to be able to,
I think I saw it for like €3.
Yeah. And even the likes of the first, maybe not the first, but maybe the second Fallout game. The first Fallout game, I think, is like a top-down kind of isometric
it's a
thing.
2D.
So, I would love to be able to even just give those games a go, which is kind of why I'm thinking of building this PC over the next couple of months, for doing the likes of, like you were saying earlier on, for people that are doing Let's Plays. Like, your PC is well capable to run the capture, sound and image and do all that in one. Whereas I know some Let's Players that literally have a second PC running their capture and then their main PC getting all the other information. So
I would never be so narrow-minded I would try not to be, to kind of say choose one or the other. If you want to play games on the PC, go and build yourself a PC, and if it takes you a year, let it take a year, and kind of adapt it to what your needs, not to your wants. Because the cost of it can spiral out of control very, very easily. I'll be honest with you, after getting the PC, I do play the Xbox One a hell of a lot less. I'll play multiplayer games with my kids, just kind of split screen and stuff, bit of Minecraft with them. That's it. A bit of GTA 5 the odd time if I'm just feeling I want to just have a fun game of something that I can just turn my brain off and smash a jet into the middle of a city. It's it is what it is, So definitely pros and cons.
like we're talking most consoles now. I know it's getting a little bit less, but say over the last couple of generations, consoles are lasting, say, 4 to 5 years before there's a next iteration of those
Yeah,
consoles. That gap is obviously
it's
narrowing over the
narrowing.
last
Yeah,
while. Like I think what the PlayStation 4 is out 3 years, and it's
if
already
even. Yeah.
got a better version. Same
Mm.
with Xbox One, the Xbox One X being released later this year. Your PC, how long is the like? What would be the lifespan of the PC that you've built?
Uh, okay, I would hope that it's the components that are in it at the moment are quite. I would say 4 to 5 years. I would
Okay.
say 4 years. Eventually, I'm going to start recording and shooting and editing on 4K when the price of 4K cameras kind of come down a little bit. And it's still capable of editing in 4K. In its current state, if I literally do not touch it, I would say 4 to 5 years before I start to see a kind of a slowdown. I have no idea what type of games are going to be released within the next 4 to 5 years. When you look at consoles, I don't mind reducing quality settings down for
Hmm.
an experience,
Yeah.
and that will kind of buffer out the longevity of the game. Um, like my RAM, my hard drives, they're like legacy items. They'll unless there's a massive change in how they are built, RAM and kind of RAM and hard drive space will be hard drives are going to be stay. Um, Motherboard, processor, and graphics card are the three main components that I might upgrade, but because I spent the amount of money that I did in the time being, I should get away with it for like I said, 4 to 5 years.
Yeah.
So, and I think it's quite similar to a high end kind of a console at the
Yeah.
moment. Like there's definitely a similar lifespan in it. I
Well,
think that like definitely the technology changes every time a new console comes out. Like if you look at Unreal Engine 4, it was kind of released side by side. It was given out as part of pre-development when just before the Xbox One was being released,
yeah.
and then also it's a massive game engine, with huge particle effects and lots and lots go along with it, and so many games nowadays are built for it. So again, those kind of engines are kind of turn around every 4 to 5 years. There's definitely a cycle with that,
Okay. It would also depend on the types of game that you're playing. Like as you said,
Mm,
if you're literally playing a game for the storyline, it's not going to matter if you've got massive draw distance and you're able to
no,
see an enemy from 5 miles away.
yeah.
Whereas if your main priority is online gaming in the likes of Call of Duty or Battlefield,
You'd be surprised.
really,
They're actually really low intensive games
okay.
for CPU and for graphics
See, I
card.
would imagine those because I look at those games as the kind of the pinnacle of graphics.
Yeah,
Whenever a Call of Duty comes out, it's the best looking game of that generation,
it's
so on and so
so
forth.
optimized.
Really?
It is so optimized for the consoles
Yeah.
first and foremost, and then a huge optimization goes into the PC builds. They Yeah, it is so highly optimized, but you've got hundreds of people working on those games and testing it and then
Well,
sending
that's
it back
true.
and
Yeah.
forth. The likes of Player Unknown's Battlegrounds, that would be you'd need a decent PC to play that
Okay.
because it's CPU intensive. So CPU would go hard at work for open world games. So and then graphics as well. I have to say, like it's quite intensive. Like my temperature of my CPU and my graphics card do go up when I'm playing it. Like
I wouldn't have imagined that. Now,
yeah,
when you look at that compared to Call of Duty,
mm,
like Player Unknown's Battlegrounds, to me could have been out on a system 3 or 4 years ago.
yeah.
I know there is procedural generation, like every time
Well, the
the
weapons
game,
are,
yeah, every time the game loads, the weapons are in different
yeah,
places,
and it's
all
all
the vehicles
random.
are in different places.
Mm,
Where you're going to end up is a different spot on I think there's only one map at the moment.
yeah, that's
So there
right.
is obviously an element of that going into it as well. But the
Yeah,
graphics never struck me as being
they're not
overly.
so super. Like there's
No.
nothing to really write home about. I would make them even comparable to Grand Theft Auto 5. Do you know what I mean? But again, it is, you know, you'd need a decent PC for it. Like yeah, what other games would be kind of Tomb Raider? The newest Tomb Raider would be quite. You know, I'm thinking over games that would be kind of high graphics. Oh, Far Cry. Oh, yeah, Far Cry 3 and all the Far Cry games. Well, there's like there's an ongoing joke. Will it play a Far Cry in the highest settings?
Okay.
Do you know what was it? Ark Soul Survivor. Would be quite a juicy game to play. You know,
Yeah.
it's quite. And again, mine runs at 60 frames per second on full settings at 1440p. You know, but yeah, there's definitely games out there that would be highly intensive or more intensive than others. But believe it or not, yeah, Call of Duty not intensive at all.
Yeah.
I played the advanced, not the what was the most recent one where it's in space. Kit Harington was the bad guy in
no,
it.
I'm not a Call of Duty fan, so I
No.
know it's the one that came with the
McGregor was in it as well.
There was a remaster of Modern Warfare 2. I think if you pre-ordered it, that's as much as I know about the last Call of Duty, to be honest.
Yeah.
It
I think it was one. I think it was remastered one that was in it.
Was it one?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
I know
Modern Warfare.
Ghosts was the one that I got with my PlayStation 4 that I played for about an hour, and that was as much as as much as I could be bothered with.
Definitely.
So pretty much at the moment it's just your keyboard and mouse that is kind of the thing that you're looking for an upgrade on. So everything else that you've kind of discussed today is you are 4 to 5 years worth of happy with.
Absolutely. 4 to 5 years, I'd be quite confident that it would kind of stick it out for that period of time. Like and I think I'm more knowledgeable than I was say 10 years ago because of all the resources online now that you can delve into and find out information. So like it's I think I definitely know more than I did even after doing a computing course. I think I knew how components worked, but just from a retail market perspective and a gaming perspective, I know a lot more now than I did like 10 years ago, you know.
And was there any, like, you said you did a computer course, was there parts of that course that helped you build, like people out there that literally don't know what is inside their PC? Is there anywhere did you go onto YouTube? Were there people that you knew to actually help you?
There's a couple of resources. One is pcpartpicker.com. So what it is it's kind of like a shopping cart, and it has a pre-designated builds for you to work from. So you have your budget build, your mid-level build, your higher end build, and it has all the different components in a list for you. Now, if you do a bit of your research and you want to change stuff on it, you can do it. And it would list all the components that were compatible with your motherboard, with your processor, with everything. And you can change. Now, that PC Part Picker also has a YouTube channel, which they'll do like a build of the month, and they will actually just sit down for 20 minutes and go, this goes here, this goes here, this goes here, plugs in here. It's like
I'm gonna need.
It is like Lego for adults.
Yeah.
There is only one place where things go in, and when you watch like half a dozen videos of different types of components or different types of builds, you will get to go. You know, you can you'll be so used to watching it that when you do sit down, you could literally build the exact same build as the guys have done on the list, say from PC Part Picker, and they'll do a YouTube video of it, putting it all together. You can get the exact same components and just go step by step.
Okay.
And go into it. There is Jay's 2 Cents, which is another YouTube channel. There's Linus Tech Tips, which is fantastic. A group of Canadian guys who work out of a studio in a warehouse up in, I think it's Vancouver, or it was Canada anyway. There is Hardware Canucks. There's another. Is it Tom's Hardware? There's a couple other ones that I'm kind of blanking at the moment. But again, I'll literally just here and here. Yeah, those two. You don't know what they are. I can't remember, but I'm going to put them here.
They're on the screen right now.
You can look in the mirror. I've literally got them on my phone. So Bitwiz or Bitfit. No, it's gone. I'm not even going to ramble on. So compiling your components together, your shopping list, they will have your wants and your needs, what you need your PC for. So they'll go mid-level entry gaming build, and they will literally lift it off. But they'll have direct links to Amazon, to UK and European websites that you're going to be getting your components off.
Okay.
So you'll able to instantly jump in and see how much price it is at the moment.
Yeah.
And it is really, really easy. I compiled my list. I literally copied one of the lists up from PC Power Picker into an Amazon wish list. And then just every 2 weeks, I'd get RAM, I'd get a hard drive, I'd get a case, and then I would just tick it off my list bit by bit until everything was got.
Yeah.
I got the OS was 30 quid. It is it's kind of like it's not like a retail version. It's more so for developers, and it's kind of like you don't get Microsoft support from it. It's kind of like your bare bones operating system. You'll still get you'll still get Windows updates and everything with it. It's a full legal kind of version of Windows. It's completely all above board, but it's 30 quid instead of 100 euros.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You can save a bit of money on that. Like,
Yeah.
Again, I'll hit the like is a Kinguin, Kinguin, sells the OEM version of Windows. I got mine actually off Done Deal, who was the same price. I was happy enough with it, like, you know. But yeah, definitely humongous resources on those channels. They release their legacy episodes are fantastic for different types of builds and what you want to learn. I think there's Linus Tech or Tech Quickie is like a 3-minute and the same guys from Linus Tech Tips. They'll have a 3 to 4 minute video of explaining how certain components in a PC work, how RAM works, why is this so important, or why is multi-core is important on a CPU, you know, that type of thing. It is a wealth of information, and it is I would say, if you're really interested in that, that is definitely the place to build, you know, to go to, like, you know.
So it's not as daunting, say, as it would have been 10 years ago before you actually started building.
Yeah. I was really daunted. I was like, where the hell am I gonna start with this?
Well, that's kind of where I am at the moment. I really would love to have a PC that would be that could just run anything, and I didn't have to worry about like what was it, like what
what's compatible
Windows
with
it was running on before, or anything like that. So yeah, I'm going to be broke for the next 6 months trying to put this thing together.
It looks like it, all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. I love my PC. I will sit down, turn it on, throw on Spotify, pot around the house with music going, and then it's definitely, especially with the lighting in it, and I have it on a nice clean white desk, and you know, it's very minimal kind of, you know, it's not in your face, it's not gamery, it's not too ostentatious. Like, it's not RGB mad as well. It's like red and white color scheme going on it. I don't have mad kind of like rainbow puke, you know, kind of colors that other PCs have on it. I don't see, you know, it's nice, it's minimalistic, and it keeps me happy. So yeah, it definitely does the job.
Oh, that's excellent. So if you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments below, and that'll be us.
That's it. Listen, thanks for watching, folks, and we can't wait to hook up with you next week. Remember to like and subscribe to this here video and to our channel to obviously be kept up to date with all our videos that we release, hopefully going forward on a more weekly basis.
Yeah.
If you hit the little bell button on just below this video, you'll get actually notifications anytime that we release a video, so to keep you up to date. Thanks for watching again.
Thanks again.